Hi everyone and welcome. In the previous video, we have covered that how we can auto-discover the BACnet IP device from the network, and after that, how we can automatically create that BACnet device tag in the CAP server. Okay, now in this video, we will see how we can log the BACnet device data into SQL database. So in this video, I'm going to use the MySQL database. Okay, here I have the BACnet simulator is running on my system, and here in the previous video we already have created a tag for this device, and we have already auto discovered this device. Okay, so now our focus is how to log the tag in the MySQL database. So here is the object, and object has some tags. Okay, and analog input 0 is related to some temperature set point or some temperature value, and here you can see the present value. So if I connect my runtime here, okay, and if I open quick client here, and if I click on analog input 0, so analog input 0 is related to temperature.indoor. So let me rename this tag temperature.indoor, temperature indoor. Okay, now we will check for the second tag. We will check for 2 to 3 tags, and then after we will see how we can log the present value of those objects in the MySQL database. So analog input 1 is associated with temperature water. Okay, so here analog input 1 properties temperature water. Okay, now we know this two tag temperature indoor, temperature water, this two object, so these two object have some tags. So for temperature indoor, we want to log the present value data in MySQL database. For temperature water, we want to log the present value data in MySQL database. So all we have to do is we need to go to data logger, and then here we have to click on add log group, and we have to set the name of this log group. So BACnet logger. Okay, and then after we have to select the DSN. I have so many DSN in my system, but DSN I have created for the CAP server to MySQL database logging is this one, CAPware. Okay, you can click on configure DSN, and you can click on system DSN to configure your data source here. Okay, I have already configured my data source for CAP server to log data into MySQL database. You can see the driver MySQL ODBC 8.0 Unicode driver. Okay, so I'm going to log my data in using this DSN. The username for my database is root, and the password is tour, and we will go to data map now. Here we have to add the tag which we want to log in the database. Okay, so which tag we want to log in the database is temperature indoor and temperature water, and the present value of those tags. So we will click on this add button here, we will click on this 3 dot here, and then we will go to temperature indoor. We will double click on this present value, and we can see the full path here. Okay, we will press OK here. Again, we will click on add to add our second tag, and the second tag is temperature water, the present value. Okay, and OK here. So you can see the item ID here, BACnet channel, room simulator device, temperature indoor object, and the present value tag. Same for here, BACnet channel, room simulator device, temperature water object, and the pressure value is the tag. We want to log this two data in our database. Now you can see the table selection. So you can see we have three options: log into existing table, create a new table every time the log group is started, or otherwise create a new table once and always attempt to append to this table. So we are going to select this third option, create a table for one time and then always log data into that table. So here BACnet logger table. Okay, and here we have a two option. We want a narrow table format or wide table format. Narrow table format means we have fixed number of column, like 4 to 5 columns. Okay, so Okay, we will see both the narrow table format and wide table format in this video. So right now I'm going to select the narrow table format. Okay, here we will select narrow, NARROW, and also here we will specify narrow BACnet logger narrow table. Okay, so we can identify what is the difference between narrow and wide data logging in the CAP server. So this is fine. Now we will go to trigger here, and in the trigger there is already one trigger is added, so we will edit this trigger. So we will click on next here. We want to log the data at every 5 seconds. Okay, so instead of millisecond we have to choose second, and here instead of 500 we are going to select 5. Okay, and here you can see log on data change of any value within the log group. Okay, so we have a static interval as well, that every data will log at 5 interval. Okay, 5 second of interval, and if the data value got changed, then also it will log into our database. So we have these two options. You can also add the third option, but we will disable all the options now, and we will go for a static interval as of now. And then we will press next here, and then we will press finish. So once our log group is started, this log group log the data in MySQL database at every 5 seconds. Okay, and how many data it will log? It will log 2 tag of my BACnet device. So if I go to my MySQL workbench and if I refresh, you can see there is no tables available in this test database. Okay, so we will first disable this log group. Okay, and then we will enable this log group. Okay, you can see here log group BACnet logger narrow is connected to DSN Kepware and is logging the data. So our log group which we have created, okay, BACnet logger narrow, is already started, and it is logging the data in our MySQL database at every 5 second of interval. So if I open my MySQL workbench, then you can see there is no tables here, and if I refresh, then you can see BACnet logger narrow table is created here. And if I select first 2000 row, then you can see we have fixed number of column, the tag name, numeric ID of tag, the tag value, timestamp, and the quality. Okay, we don't have any extra columns here, and you can see the tag name, temperature indoor, temperature water, temperature indoor, temperature water, and if you check count, so number of count will increase every 5 seconds. So right now count is 22, right now count is 24, count is 26. Okay, so every 5 seconds 2 count will increase in our database. Okay, and this is the narrow format of table. So if I run this is the narrow format. The first column is representing the ID, second one is tag name, third one is numeric ID, fourth one is value, then timestamp, and then quality. Okay, now we will see the wide format. So I have to go to CAP server. Let me stop this or disable this log group. Okay, now we will create a new log group here, and the name of log group is BACnet logger wide format. I'm going to use the same DSN. The username for my database is root and tour. This username and password is for my MySQL database. Okay, MySQL database connectivity. So don't forget this username and password, otherwise it will not log the data into database. Now we will go to data map. We will add same tags here. So temperature indoor and the present value. Again, temperature water and then present value. Now we will create a new table once, and then after we will continue log into that table. So the table name was BACnet logger narrow. Now we will create a BACnet logger wide. So BACnet logger wide format table, and here we will select wide format. Okay, now we will go to trigger. We will edit this trigger, so we will change to second, and we want to log to every 5 seconds. Now we will press on finish. Now we will disable the log group, and then we will enable the log group. Okay, so now you can see here log group BACnet logger wide is connected to DSN Kepware and is logging the data. So this log group we have created for wide table format, it is up and running and it is logging the data into my MySQL database. So now let's open the MySQL workbench. You can see we can only see the first table BACnet logger narrow, but we have created second table BACnet logger wide. Once you refresh it, you will get it here. Now we will select first 2000 row for that table. Now you can see we have more number of columns. Previously, if I select narrow table format, we have only specific number of columns. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 column. Now in the wide format, we don't have 5 column. We have column for each of these things. So for ID, we have 1 column. For numeric ID, we have 1 column. For tag value, we have 1 column. For the same tag, we have timestamp column. For the same tag, we have quality column. And for the second tag, we have numeric ID column, second tag value column, second tag timestamp column, and second tag quality column. Okay, so more number of tag you are adding into the wide table, the more column it will create. So for one tag, it will create 4 columns. Okay, so I have added 2 tags, so it will create 8 column plus 1 ID column. So just think of it, if you have more number of tag, then how much column you will have in this table. Okay, so it's better to go for a narrow table format in that case. And if I select count here in wide format, you can see count is 23. Okay, count is 24. Every 5 seconds only 1 row will increase, because in wide format, both the tag is stored as a column. Okay, here we have a value column for first tag and here we have a value column for second tag. So if both the tag is updating at the same time, then the count of row will increase by 1 only. Okay, so you have a 5000 tag. Okay, and if you are storing those 5000 tag at every 5 seconds, then every 5 seconds your table row count will increase to 1. Okay, but in the narrow format, every 5 seconds the row count will increase to 5000. So every 5 seconds 5000, in the next 5 seconds 5000 row added. Okay, but in the wide format, you at every 5 seconds for 5000 tag only 1 row will added. So that is the difference between narrow and wide format. So based on your suitability, you can select narrow and wide format from the CAP server. So what our target was to log the BACnet data into MySQL database, or we can say any SQL database. Okay, so we have achieved that target in this video. So in the previous video, we have already covered how you can connect with BACnet devices, how you can discover BACnet device automatically, how you can create tag for those BACnet device. Now in this video, we have covered how you can create a logger group, how you can enable or disable, or you can say enable or disable logger group. Okay, and how you can modify the logger group setting, how you can add tags, how you can change your table selection and table format, and how you can select data source properties here. Okay, so I hope everything is clear in this video, that how you can read data from BACnet device and log into the MySQL database. So if you see here, we still have data is logging here. You can see total we have 49 row. Okay, and you can see data is logging here. So I hope everything is clear in this video, and if you still have any question or any doubt regarding data logging for BACnet devices, you can ping me on Telegram, Instagram, WhatsApp, or you can also comment me on this video. Okay, so we will meet you in the next video, and till then, take care, goodbye, and thank you.